Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 265. Oh, we'll be with you in a minute while I do some pre-checks. So, how's the counters working today? Hey, Susan. Oh, what a week. It's been busy. Really busy. And lots of BS to sort out too with the channel. Copyright claims and nonsense claims of that. Is the lights working? It says there's 2 lights there and only 1 on the main panel. Does looks like it's broken again. There's only 1 watching. Stupid Google, they still haven't fixed it. There should be a button to go back to the previous version. This is bad as Microsoft now. Hello, good to be back. Good to be back. We need a Terminator. There's a few people that need to be terminated. And people that break the code as well. Oh, that's meant to be a banned word, isn't it? Don't break the code, man. Yeah, so we're back to the desktop. So let's see how this hangs together, I guess. Yeah, a few niggles still because they've broken the code. Okay, let me see if I can. Reckon says 5 concurrent users on Google. It's not true. I wonder where the 5 disappeared to, though. There was 5 lurkers. So yeah, I think it's 65, isn't it? So I tell you, it makes you wonder if it's really worth doing UFOs. The amount of drama and problems that we keep running into. Seems like we're always being trying to be silenced, you know, in some form. I've had to deal with 4 copyright claims this week, and as far as I'm concerned, most of them are fair use, but it doesn't mean they honour fair use, and you have to fight it all the time. So yeah, Saturdays, video analysis and topics with Paul. We also got an update on security. More drama there. Yeah, I had some guy on a 3-year-old video put a copyright claim on the video. He used a PD clip I used and just put his music up there, and he still hasn't removed it. I've posted a comment to his video in question. You'd think people, if they're honest, they would deal with that instantly, right? So obviously Google lets these people that writes music trying to take over the money off your videos. Hopefully that you used it in lots of videos. So you got to fight it. And of course what happens is Google lets it expire for 28 days. So if you don't hear back from them in 28 days, then it's released again. So the video sort of like is in limbo, but you still collect credits and stuff, ad credits. But it's stupid, really. Should be like a Google admin look at that. If you put a counterclaim in, the Google admin should look at that and say, yeah, this guy's right, this is a false claim, and cancel it straight away, and put a strike on the person that put the music in the content ID system. It's all screwed up. It's all one-sided nonsense. I just get frustrated with it, you know. I need like my virtual machine gun that can actually do real machine gun, and you know, you've seen me use the machine gun before. That's quite a lot of fun. It's good stress release. Yes, it was like an underwater scene where they're releasing bubbles from a snorkel. It's I've tried to fight that claim before and won it. I thought it was dealt with, that one could never be added into the context ID system, but looks like Google have let it slip back into the system again. So it seems like a BS on Google's side of things. It should already be like this clip, if it ever shows up in a video, cannot be part of the context ID section. You know, only the audio, not the video, right? It's just crazy. I have Google Chrome, but I had such a lot of trouble this week. Depends what you're using it on. If you're on Windows, I noticed the latest Google Chrome has destroyed lots of things. They've put in new security and stuff, and a lot of plugins don't work. This is why I don't like updating. When you got a system that works, don't update it. Because it just normally screws up eventually, and then you sort of cry and you want to go back to the old version. That's why you should keep a backup of your system that you liked when it was working, so you can always roll back to it. I use like a semantic recovery sort of thing. So yeah, I suppose I better get on. Looks like it's working alright. I've even boosted the CPU another what's it, 50 megahertz. No, 25 megahertz above what I had already set it to. So whether this computer catches fire at some stage, you'll find out. Because that will probably set the bed on fire. So yeah, we got a few things to go over here. So yeah, Google hasn't fixed the counters again, and so we're back to the old system still. But we got Super Chat working, hopefully still. Hopefully they haven't stuffed that up. And yeah, we better get into it, I suppose. So yeah, on to Secure Team, the first front news here. There was a few things I had on the list too, wasn't there? Can't remember what I put. But yeah, we got a poll here that I put out for a week, and we only got 32 people reply to it. I said, gullible test, who thinks Tyler is innocent and didn't hoax material or steal logos? Because he was too lazy to make one or pay someone. So I mentioned this before, but the results are now shown because it's completed. You'd have to be logged in to see the completed results. So we got up to almost 80% there. Said that it's 100% guilty. And so what's 80% of 32? 8, 20, 25 people out of 32. That's quite a lot. So, but we still got these ones here. 9%, 10% are still in love with Tyler. So they got a bit of a problem. The 3 out of 30. So that must be the Generation N girls there. I'm not sure. So someone hasn't actually been watching the Out There channel. So they're way behind the 8 ball. And I don't care. which I put I'm mad in that case. If you're in ufology and you don't care, you should be in ufology, as far as I'm concerned. They're seen as entertainment or mocking the community, and they're the kind of people we don't want in the community. They end up being news readers where they're sort of laughing at UFO claims. So yeah, I'll put a link to that finished poll, so you can still comment to it if you want to. Tyler, guilty. So we're like the online jury service, right? So maybe they don't need a court system. They can just take our results strictly from us here and do away with 12 jurors and stick them in prison for us. And the community would be way better off. Think of the children. Think of the wife. Yeah, she can go and get a cleaning job or go on welfare. Tough titty. Okay, closed tab. So, what was this one? Looks like it may have scrolled down. I think. Or something happened there. So, yeah, I was looking at some other copyright news because people were trying to defend copyright. And there was a thing that was put out on Torrent Freak. If you're not a member of the blog, go and join it. It keeps track of copyright and online censorship abuses and that sort of stuff for YouTube. It's a good site. And they post up these articles here talking about how they used a similar logo and they got sued for $700,000. So it just shows what problems it can cause. Best to make sure that your image is public domain before you start putting on t-shirts. So yeah, how can we copy that one? I'll just copy the link here. That'll be Grumpy Cat. I don't think I've really heard of it because I'm not really a coffee drinker anymore. But I suppose it's a known brand in USA. But that wasn't the page I had it on, I don't think. Let me just check. Something screwed up here. Okay. So yeah, I did an episode on copyright and free speech also a long time ago, where it's a tug of war, and as it is with fair use. Pause episode, but this is not the one about the water thing that we're talking about at the beginning there. I put that on Discord, but I haven't actually got a link here. What was the page I was looking for here? Seems to have changed since I started. I think it may have been that one, is it? Yeah, I think it was this one here. So I did actually do research on copyrighted image, which I didn't bring up last time, which I should have done on that secure team update. And here it is here with some screen snapshots from the pages. Copyright images or artwork. Because I said that they're mixing up copyright and branded and trademarks. How am I sounding out there anyway? I didn't check the audio. Sounds alright this end. So I assume it's working alright. Did I see my name pop up there before? I better check. Today's topics, alright. Alright. Yep, okay, thanks Susan. I tell you what, I had a pretty deep sleep last night. I must have really needed it. I didn't get my regular nap yesterday. Normally have a nap after dinner for some reason because of high sugars, because I'm diabetic probably. It takes a wee while for the insulin jab to sort of level out things. So here, what rights does a copyright owner have? Reproduction rights, right to copy, distribution right, right to issue copies of the work to the public, rental, lending, the right to communicate the work to the public. What was the next one? What types of artwork are protected by copyright? Copyright covers artwork such as graphic works, photographs, sculptures, works of architecture, works of artistic craftsmanship. So they're talking about non-digital ones, but obviously digital artwork would be included. Most artwork works are protected irrespective of artistic quality. This is a requirement for works of architecture and artistic craftsmanship. However, looks like maybe there should have been some more there. Is copyright law the same throughout the world? No. Copyright protection granted to artists is different from country to country and independent upon national legislation. But UK and USA, I believe, is pretty much the same, which is what we're talking about here. How do I copyright my artwork? Copyright protection is automatically given to works as soon as they are fixed in material form. Ideas are not protected, only the permanent expression of those ideas. You do not have to go through any legal process or registration to establish copyright. That said, it is still good practice to keep records and evidence of the artistic works you have created. You will make people aware of your claim to copyright ownership. If you put the symbol copyright and with your name and the year of publication somewhere on the work, this is not proof that you own the copyright, but it may prove helpful if you bring a action of copyright infringement at a later date. So as I pointed out on that page, the guy had his name with copyright and the year number 2007 to 2020 on that particular page. Plus it had terms of use that you could use it, but you couldn't use it for commercial. So it was made available to the public with conditions, right? So Tyler's in the wrong. And he's been selling it on t-shirts for how many years now? 8 years. How much would he make per month of t-shirts? Well, probably in the early days not much, but probably in the last 3 years he could have been making up $5,000 a month of merchandise quite easily. So yeah, so he's probably going to get sued, which I just read something just came out today, for a chunk sum of money of those profits he made. Serves him right, really. He should have, as soon as he saw his Patreon page take down, he should have been acting really quickly, as far as I'm concerned. He should have taken down all his videos and started creating new created new videos as well as new images to go with the videos, right? And if he was making that much money, as we talked about last time, a potential of $10 million in 8 years, US, just on ads, then he had plenty of money able to make his own web server up. It's not as good as PewDiePie, as I call him, because it's a load of shite. His channel's a load of shite, and I don't know why people watch it, but he makes $1 million a week. I mean, let's see, a week here. It makes 1 million US a week. And it's just an idiot, as far as I'm concerned. And the other one, Paul Logan's another one that's close there too. I don't see what people see in them. So they said you could consider sending yourself a copy of the artwork. Suppose that would be like get a stamp from the post office on it and all that. But as you can read there, they said it doesn't prove that you own it, but it certainly would go a long way to help in case it goes to court. What was that other one? There you go. Another snapshot from another site saying the same thing. Attaching a copyright notice such as that the copyright symbol or rights reserved has not been a legal requirement in the US since 1989. It does, however, clearly identify you as the copyright owner. Therefore, decreasing the likelihood it will be used without authorization and bolstering legal evidence in the case. So again, there you go. And that's what actually happened. The guy, JJ Ying, on the website for downloading it, has clearly got copyright on there. And he has, Lionsground has got the paperwork to prove that he gave him partial ownership to help him deal with the infringement of Tyler using it. And of course, he might get some money out of it too. Right, but obviously if you're in a different country and you can't be bothered with all the paperwork or understand it all or have your own fund for lawyers, you may just let it slide, which is probably what happened initially. Well, he didn't know about it. This is probably another thing. He didn't know that someone was making lots of money out of his artwork. Anyway, carrying on. So here's the snapshot. I think I might have shown it before. So here's the page here with the copyright down the bottom here, as you can see. Clearly labelled on the website. And I believe this is the only place that was downloadable in 2007. This is a weird title, where I got it from. Game over, man. So whatever that nocturnal news or nocturnal news guy keeps blabbing on about, they need to learn how to use Google and do some research and stop mixing in disinformation about trademarks and artwork. And the next one. So I looked at Google's method of strikes, which I wasn't too sure on. It says here on the page, but you got to click on all these little down things. Actually, don't get all the information. You scroll down. If you miss one of the little ticks, you miss out on some of the information. And the one that's most important here, resolve a copyright strike, actually tells you the duration, which I must have missed to open that one, but it says here there are 3 ways to resolve a copyright strike. Wait for it to expire. Copyright strikes expire after 90 days. If it's your first strike, you need to complete a copyright school. Create a retraction. You can contact the person who claimed your video and ask them to retract their claim of copyright, which I understand that Tyler's pleading like crazy with Lionsground to do that after slugging him off. I don't think it's going to work somehow. And accused him of blackmailing him and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, why would you remove it after all that hassle, right? He doesn't deserve it. Submit a counter notification, which I guess is what he's done here. Which means you're going to have to prove that you've going to take it to court, of course, if you do that. because Google don't want to get involved, right? They only take the word of the court, the final court, and delete account or whatever like that. So yeah, it just goes to show that if you're a good person and you got caught out on something like an image you used, as soon as you know that you got other videos with the image, with the artwork, simply take them down, delete them completely so they can't put a claim on the other ones. So a word of warning here, so this is a lesson to everybody out there, because in the end it doesn't really matter if it's an old video, because most people don't go and watch them anyway, is what I found, which is a bit disappointing, of course. So if you want to go and read up on Google's strike system, so this is the difference between my channel and other channels, as I provide you the information and how to research it. Other ones are like talking heads and creating disinformation constantly. So yeah, looks like we've run out of space again. Stupid tabs should scroll. I'll post that link too, I suppose, if you want to go and comment on the tweet. Where is everybody today? Didn't they get those notifications screwed up again? Well, who we got there? We got Charles, and we got Susan, and we got probably Robert, have we? Or is he gone to bed? So yeah. Oh no, we haven't even got that. It says 2 watching, so what's going on there? I suppose everyone else is listening to the talking heads that don't offer any information on this. So I said end of days here, another post. End of days. But I think it's beginning of ufology again, once you get rid of these talking heads. I think it's a good thing. Okay, so I said here, I don't know how you all feel about Google's strike system, but to me it just means no one is safe. Fair use can go wrong, as we've found on my channel, and no one can afford lawyers and the stress of courts. I think Google need to rethink how to do business, but I think Tyler has gotten away with too much and is too cocky. I see LG vs Tyler copyright might make them change the system. It's because they bow to the big media corps with those uploading TV shows to YouTube, but no reason it can't be altered in obvious. Uploading TV shows to YouTube, but no reason why it can't be obviously repeat offenders clause deletion. So if someone keeps uploading TV shows, it should be a no-brainer, right? You shouldn't really need a strike system for that. You should get 1 strike, and if that person re-offends uploading TV shows, they should be gone. Simple as that. You know, we're talking about full TV shows here, not just a clip for fair use. If they keep repeating new offences, not old ones, for the same offence, for the same claimant, they can be deleted. That means Tyler would get 1 strike for logo, and if reuse it in a new video, it would result in deletion, instant deletion, right? Because he was, that's why you get the strike. Don't do it again, or go to prison. Because it means he ignored the original strike reason. So I think they need to revamp the system and not really just attack the people that are putting the claims on people. Because it really comes down to Google deleting accounts, not Lions Ground. Lions Grounds just follow the legal process, right? So it gets a little bit better. Yeah, so much for general chat on copyrights and Tyler. This just come out overnight. I haven't even looked at it yet. Security being sued for $100,000. Well, as we're seeing, these copyright claims can go up to millions of dollars. YouTube drama at its finest, pure. Right. And they're saying it's extortion. So these people are listening to the wrong people. This is just normal practice. As soon as you want to put it to court, you're going to look at lawyers wanting to claim for damages. That's why you don't want it going to court. You want to resolve it before it goes to court. Because you got to pay the lawyers as well. So if he was getting t-shirt sales for say 4 years, even if it was $1,000 profit per month for 12 months, that's 12,000 times 4. What's that? $48,000 from merch sales. You'd expect him to probably have a fine of at least $10,000, I would say, US, and to remove all logos and not use them again. That's probably what it's going to end up being now. He's going to end up losing, as we've just read on those copyright websites in UK and US. Both were saying the same thing. So that means Spain probably has a similar rule where Lions Ground is. New Zealand certainly would be following UK law. So yeah, and Australia is saying. So what are these people saying here? So someone accused me of being a hater again and obsessed with Tyler. I don't think I'm obsessed with Tyler because only 10% of my whole videos are on Tyler. That's not bad considering he's the one causing the most damage in ufology with stupid videos, and a lot of those are just debunks on the stupid videos he puts up, not actually the actual crimes and fakes that he was making. So these people just haven't got a clue what they're talking about, and they obviously haven't watched my stuff still. And this guy here, as Unirock said, is just a clickbait. And so he started attacking Unirock. And it's true though, you know, as soon as you start using Secure Team in the title like that, people are going to come and watch it, you know, get lots of views. Doesn't mean you're going to get lots of subs. You can see this guy here hides the subs, which is, you know, straight away suspicious in my books. I think I had... Let's see, is it here? I used to have a picture of the guy. He's got video up there. Nocturnal news. I thought I had it posted. Let's just see if I can find it. It's amazing how much I post. So there's the guy in question. That's the Melfi guy. That's disinformation and saying wrong things about me. So that's an enhancement I did on his video. And you can actually see through his microphone now. You can see he's like a 25-year-old punk. Maybe he's less than 37 anyway. He looks like someone that went to school with Tyler, actually. So, yeah, let's have a quick listen to this nonsense, I guess, for a couple of minutes.
Update for you. Look, I'm going to have a hard time getting through the video. Look,
I don't know, his voice really annoys me. I don't know about you guys, but his voice is like If he was trying to sell you a car, you'd simply walk out the yard again. Apparently he calls himself a journalist, but he's actually a sports jock, from what I see, boxing. So yeah, he obviously gets to report on boxing events, right? So he calls himself a journalist, but he's definitely not an investigator journalist. What are you saying on the side there? Yeah, that's right. They could be taken to court for what this idiot's saying here. But I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, Susan, though. They could restrict our videos even more, right? So I think Google's going down the tubes more and more as the years progress. So I wouldn't even rely on YouTube and really panic about YouTube because we're all doomed. The thing is, really, it shouldn't be any censorship as far as concerned, and there shouldn't be any like deletions of channels. But certainly revoke the money that you can make on it, and for misconduct, don't allow super chat, don't allow AdSense, don't allow Google advertising money to be wasted on these drips. They certainly will go away. They won't be doing it forever, unless they got a lot of people donating to them, of course. But if you ain't got super chat, then you have to use alternative methods. So it gets a bit more messy, you see. Then you might just move to another platform anyway. Unfortunately, Google's got the easiest setup for streaming still. They got the big money, the big bucks. It used to be really sweet until they mucked up the code recently. So what's this idiot saying here?
When I thought it couldn't get crazier, it just did. Okay, so, all right, guys, your daily dose of YouTube drama, right? YouTube drama gone bad. Okay, now, look, I'm not going to go over the entire history. You guys know. You guys know the situation. I'm just going to pick up where we left off. I'm trying to keep it going, right? Not going to reveal any information from ST10 or Tyler. This is my own opinion, or it's what Lions Ground has put out to the public. Okay, so now let's look at it, guys. The Logo Gate saga. Okay, apparently, it's going to end up in court, like a court of law. I'm going to pause for a minute, let that sink in. Sometime in July, okay, according to this individual, he feels he will walk out of the courtroom with a cool 100 grand. That's all, just about 100 G, right? Now, apparently, Lions Ground, okay, wanted a ST10 to sign some type of arrangement, an agreement, an ultimatum, as he put it. And I'll read his email.
Who the hell's that? Was that the real Tyler? What's that picture of? I don't think it's this guy, is it? If it is, he's put on weight. Must be the lockdown syndrome.
Email at the end of the video if you guys stay tuned, okay, or fast forward to the last 2 or 3 minutes and I'll read it. Okay, some type of agreement with certain air quote conditions, okay, that Tyler must follow in order for Lions Ground to remove.
Man, what was I just saying about conditions? Once you go to a court, they're going to expect money, they're going to expect it removal, never to be used on their channel again, and so on. Of course, there's going to be conditions.
Remove the copyright strikes from the YouTube channel. Now, all right, guys, now, I don't know about you, okay? I don't know where you guys are.
He sounds like a cat. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. Just talk normally, mate. You sound like an imbecile. Let's put the decoder thing on him. Make him sound like Mr. Ken. You sound a little bit better when he's on Mr. Ken. Go on, why don't you talk about Mr. Ken and all the fakes that Tyler does?
Located in the world, but here in America we call that...
So that sounds more like him, Mr. Anonymous, because that's really what he tries to be with his masks that he uses on his other images, right? The anonymous mask.
Blackmail. Right? Good old-fashioned Americana blackmail, okay? But this individual...
Oh, going to court is blackmail. Being sued is blackmail. This guy's going to end up in jail himself, I reckon. He's going to end up being sued.
or taking Tyler to court doesn't quite get that, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, look, he's got a picture of himself. So that was a picture of him, right? Who has a large boxing thing? That would scare the crap out of you in the middle of the night if you got up, bumped into it. So that's a journalist, right? I just call that a sports jock. But anyway.
Obtain some bogus possession of a logo that nobody cares about from a guy in China, fly down to America, go to court, and walk out with $100,000.
So the question is, how would LionsGround be able to do court system in America? Well, obviously they're going to use teleconferencing, right? They do it in New Zealand, so why wouldn't they do it in the rest of the world? Lawyers to gangst lawyers. Show the paperwork, judge looks at it and says, yep, LionsGround wins. Rule in favour, bang, finished. You know.
It doesn't work like that. Now, like I said, LionsGround claiming he's going to receive...
So if he's a journalist, why is he telling us how it doesn't work like that? Is he a lawyer now? Is he a specialist in law? Because obviously he ain't listening to people.
He's going to give $80,000 to Mr. Jing, I believe his name is, from China, okay? And of course, the remaining 20% will go to legal fees and...
I think it's Ying, not Jing, but I don't know. JJ Ying, I would have said.
Charity. Look, I can't make it up. I'm not making this up, okay? That is right. It's going to go to charity. I mean, this dude he's already making plans about how he's going to spend this $100,000, okay? I mean, God, if it was that easy. But anyway, but no.
Oh, well. Drama. Let's just skim through that. So, what evidence has he got? Just usual snapshots, right? Same old garbage. So is that a comment from Tyler? He only uses YouTube to host the content. I will terminate my channel. Well, you broke the law. For some reason, these guys seem to act above the law, if anything. Anyway, get rid of that too. Actually, I might just have a quick look at the comments. So, where's all the haters? Oh, here we go. Out there channel might be more obsessed with Tyler than anyone. This guy is next level infatuated with him. So, let's see the comments here. Yes, this guy is a complete nut job. See, that's slander there, right? Slandering me. Should I take him to court? They still think I'm Tyler. No, I don't. Did I ever say he was Tyler? I'm the only one saying that he isn't Tyler, right? So that's a complete lie there. Yeah, at this rate, they need to seek professional help. So again, there is slander there, saying that we have a mental problem. They lost all sense of reality and common sense. So, looks to me like the only people that hasn't got common sense and part of the criminal network, as I call them, are these guys. Go and watch my videos, guys. And you can go and fact check everything I tell you and show you. I'm just not a talking head, you know, actually give you some factual snapshots and links to stuff to go and check out yourself. This is actually extortion. We saw that comment before. You get 20 years in prison. That's also a felony. So I feel Lions won't be around very much longer. In fact, anyone that should be done for felony is Tyler for faking interviews. That's got to be like the ultimate sin on any level. That's just conning people straight away. Oh no, using a lawyer. It wouldn't be extortion. So here's someone that's actually got sense, right? We're not just talking out the bumhole. What else we got coming up here? Someone here, Logo stole for his own use since 2007. Well, he started his channel in 2011, wasn't it? So it was way before Tyler started using it. It's technically extortion, not blackmail. So taking someone to court over stealing a Lego is extortion. And where do these people come from? I have no idea to how Lions Ground and security team can settle their feud. Well, it's not a feud. It's called truth. Truth will always win in the end. You know I love your material. So this is another butthole kisser. Nocturnal News knows more about the situation. These people are just so stupid. It ain't funny. What's going through this guy's mind? Well, if you watch the videos, I've posted it all around lots and lots of times, then you'd know what was going through our minds. Logo Gate, they call it. So these are probably anti-Trumpers too, from the terminology they're using there. All I have to say to Lions Ground is better think about this real hard. Duh. These people are just so stupid. I don't know, it just makes me angry when I read comments like this. Troll Patrol. Yeah, this guy tried to troll me too. Straight up blackmail. So this guy's, and I've given him the links to watch. Don't watch the links. Oh no, I'm too much. Too much. I know already. I don't need to watch your links. Lion is dreaming. Oh, we'll see. Oh, there's goal 51. It's obvious this guy is trying everything he can to get money. He become obsessively sense or knows of a... So this guy here has been on my channel. He's subbed and unsubbed. I think he's just spying. Come on, goal 51. Own up to what you're up to here. We're not stupid. We see you commenting on public here. When you got language like that... obviously you haven't watched my videos still, even though you claim you have. Obviously you don't understand still. Stupid to think this is Tyler. Yes, it is stupid. International copyright isn't recognized by US to China. But he's not in China, he's in Spain. He's been given the copyright control. And Spain's probably covered by EU. They again failed to see Lions Ground is doing it on his behalf. So he is suing them. I'm not too sure on the copyright in China, but as we know, China do steal a lot of things. Has a good sense. Suing for harassment. Where's the evidence? We haven't seen any evidence of that whatsoever. Because he put a claim in through Google makes him a harassment. So yeah, just nonsense, isn't it? So now we can get on to the UFO side of things. The drama's out the way, hopefully. He should be entitled to every bit of money and spend it like he wants. Well, Lions Ground will probably give it away to people because he sees it as dirty money anyway, like I do. Give it away to charity where it benefits other people. You know, if you take it from gullible people, you should give it back, really. But yeah, I don't think they would mind you give it to cancer research or C19 research or whatever. Yeah, it's disgusting, really. So yeah, we had someone join Discord. Can't say the name, but he wanted me to look at some of his pictures. So let's better open that up, and we'll just start looking at UFO topic now. Now we're caught up on all the drama out there of the UFO channels. Okay. That come over nicely. Doesn't always do that. Oh yeah, so he sent me all those. So I'll just go over it. So he sent me these photos and asked me what to think of it. It was taken with a particular camera, which I have got a link to there, which I'll go over. He said it was on 2015 Canada Day, and these lights in the sky hovered, or whatever you want to call it, which you can see here, all day long, and all day being night and day. So we got night and day snapshots here. So you can see it's not terribly big, but when people see that, they think UFO. So as you know, when I first looked at this, I thought, well, what's the possibilities? If it's in the same place all the time, then we can rule out it being balloons. Especially if it's there day and night, we can rule out it being drones, planes, hot air balloons. So what's that really leave us? What ends up being in the sky for long periods of time and doesn't seem to move much would be planets and stars, right? So you're thinking, is this planet Venus? Is my first thought. Not a UFO. So I asked him if he used the applications on his smartphone to verify where the planets were in his viewpoint. I think he said yes, and that wasn't the case. It turned out to be. He said he looked up afterwards or something. Maybe he didn't do it right. I don't know. But yeah, so there's one picture. So I thought, well, what's that image here? So that could be Venus, but what's this one over here? Is that like a lens flare or internal lens refraction? Because as we know, inside the camera, we draw a picture. Even in a smartphone, they have multiple lenses. So I don't know if I got one for a lens here, but with a convex lens, but we probably could use a circle. So you got lenses like this inside the camera. Probably should have made it bigger. Hang on. Inside the camera. And of course the light comes in. Different color. Comes in. And it reflects. Goes onto the sensor. Which will be the sensor this here. The CMOS sensor. So what happens is some of the light here reflects back. So some of the light reflects back off the glass here, as you know. It's not perfectly goes through. And it forms a spot on the back of the mirror, which looks like an object. Does that make sense to us? So then that bounces back to the sensor. And the light that reflects back off this angle here is obviously too weak. It doesn't show up as a second image on the lens. But that's how you get lens flare with the multiple things that happen with the circles. Starts to make sense when you understand technology, doesn't it? So when you see lens flare, you normally get these little circles that seem to go various sizes in pictures. You know, you get flares happening and it ends up being like from a bright sun image, and it creates this flare trail. So yeah, it creates a little dot here on the lens, and you got the original planet that you're filming, and you end up with the real planet and then a fake image here. Alright, bounce back on the yellow beam there. So if we go back to our web page and bring up some typical lens flare, now you know how it forms inside the camera. You hear about it all the time, but you don't really understand until you are shown how it works. This is the sort of thing I study all the time. And here's the streak that I'm talking about, coming from the sun. So you get a streak of these little round circles where it's bouncing off the various lenses inside the camera, which is glass, of course. Now, we talked about future lenses being made of titanium rods, which don't reflect backwards like this and don't create lens flare, but it's still being experimented with. They haven't perfected it, unfortunately. They're called meta lenses. So that will drastically improve the quality of our future cameras if they ever solve it. They're trying to make it so it's full spectrum. So there's no one there from the sun. That creates these little circles as it bounces off all the lenses inside. I think the average one has like 4 lenses. Some of them go up to 8 lenses inside to try and bend the light to the sensor and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I won't get too involved in that. So this is a camera that he was using. RX advanced camera with 1-inch type sensor. So I'm not too sure what year that is. Does it tell us? Doesn't look much, does it, as a camera? It doesn't look anything like a P1000, which is the top of line camera. But it looks like it does some pretty good low light here. Which our eyes do the best, of course, and we've been over that before, that our eyes are equivalent to a 500 and what was it? Was it 500 or 600? I can't remember now. 637 megapixel camera. And the ultimate low light sensor as well. For humans, our eyes are pretty amazing. Although we can't see into infrared and we can't see into the ultraviolet, which would be really handy too, if you could just flick inside your head there to see other spectrums. We might be able to see ghosts better. So it's a 20 megapixel, so 20 megapixel camera, so it can't be too old. CMOS sensor. And looks like it has a clip-on lens option, which does sort of help. But I don't think it'd be anywhere near a P1000, would it? I don't know. If we saw the price, then we'd probably have an idea, wouldn't we? Because everything goes by price. So that's the camera he's using. So we don't need that anymore. So where did we get to? And need to open it up again. So that's one of the images there. Let's go through them. What's that there on the side? Looks like he's got his finger in the way, is it? Or a strap? Looks like the same again. And he said it looks like a solid craft, but as we've talked about atmospherics, you can see here it's going through atmospherics because it's so hazy. and it's creating that famous ring pattern, right? Which we call the cell look. It looks like a living cell. If you look under a microscope of a blood cell, it has that sort of donut shape with the ring indenting. And so as it passes through the air, as we've talked about before, so maybe image. And this is why it looks like a craft with some shape. It doesn't look like a normal planet because of it. Clips. Oh, that will do. So here's the planet, and the light's coming from it, from the sensor. Center, I mean, not sensor. You think it goes straight line to the camera sensor, which would be there, right? But what happens is it actually doesn't. Goes through a layer of atmospherics at various temperatures, and what happens is this line here gets all skew-whiffy. So it comes here, starts bouncing around, and ends up in a different place on the sensor. Because of there's a certain relationship between crystals and all that, it starts filming, creating these ring patterns. I'm not going to be able to draw it very good here with the mouse. So it starts moving the light that was in the center in different ways and outer different ways. So it always forms that cell look. Because it's going through layers of ice crystals that act like prisms, right? But it's just amazing how it always forms that particular shape. Obviously, there's a limit to how much it bends the light and which direction. So that's where we get that look there. And here's another one. It's probably going to look much the same. And it's less a ring around it. Most people would say this is boring. Now here we got one here. It's got like a double image. So he's moved it with rolling shutter. Now we talked about rolling shutter before. So as it was scanning here, a microsecond movement, he's moved the camera this direction to the left, and like a flatbed scanner, it started scanning light coming from this planet in that location on that part of the sensor. So what it's done is it's stretched the image, and you can see here it's started stretching that one, but of course it's got fainter. So what's this other image? We'll get to in a minute. And when I first looked at his image, he sent me this, and I thought, what the hell? What do we need to be looking at here? I couldn't see anything on here. So some of these you're going to have to apply a filter, obviously, to actually see if there's anything there. And that's the next image, it's pretty much the same. Next image, and that's meant to be low light. Not really good if it is. So I'm not too sure what we're meant to be seeing on those ones. But we can put it through filters, just have a look. Nothing. Still can't see anything obvious. Here we go. I think I might saw something here this time. There's something up here somewhere. But you can see. Here we go. There we go. So it's got it more in the center of that photograph now. And you can see a slightly different color because the sun's in a different position, obviously, and it's reflecting more of the red light. And it's not so bright, of course. And obviously it's going to be going in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. It's finally got one. That looks a wee bit better. But obviously he's got motion blur again. Well, rolled and shutter blur, I should say. Moved it just slightly as we were snapping it. And the sensor obviously takes some time to process, and that's what happens. It spins the image. But you can't see the second one. So obviously this is going to be Venus, but where's the other image gone? So, we want to go to these dark images and see if there's anything on. I probably can close that down. Keep the memory free. Are we learning lots? Okay. So here we need to find out what's on that picture, because we can't see much as it is. So we can play around the brightness, which is the default thing. And even that only just shows it up now. Way down here. The best one is, as you know, color swapping. And this is the tool that shows the most when we change the colors of blacks into other things. There we go, look, we can even see a mountain ridge now. And we can see lights reflecting off cloud covers. Low light, so black is not always black. So it's really shades of black. That's what helps to have 32 million colors on your computer sensor. And you can see here it's low on the horizon here. So that's at the end of, is that early morning as sunrise is coming up. So there we go, we can see it's a real image. It's not terribly exciting, but we still can't see the second image in this, the second object. It's obviously too faint. But who would have thought there was actually a hill range here? And city lights and clouds. It's definitely there, right? So this is why you got to apply the tools, the filtering. And there's, oh, if I can get it right, there's Venus coming into view. So again, you need to use the apps. Heavens above app. There's one of the common ones. On Google Play, go and install it. And next time it's well, you can use it in the daytime. Just aim it at the sky with your camera, moon or whatever, and see what other planets are near the moon. So this will give you lots of information, satellites and also planets and stars. You can see it's got a fairly good review there. And I think it's even got some demo video here. Where is it? I think there was a video at some stage. But it's not the only app. As you can see, there are other recommendations. What's that one? Why is it similar to that one down there? It's the same app, isn't it? One's a paid one, so it has more options. Okay, what's that one there? International Space Station Detector. Mobile observations. There's also Google Sky you can use as well. And if you're on iPhone, I think Heavens Above is on there too. I'm sure I clicked on that, but it's not working. Now it is. Looks very similar. You can overlay what you're seeing in your camera with star charts. A lot of technical information there. So I did an enhancement here as well. If we'll open. And that enhanced it the best we could see things. And you can see here it looks more like a solid object, and that looks definitely like a solid object. So if that's Venus, what is that? So this is where I put out a question to the guys on Dazzle the Cameraman. And I provided the information, the exit if information, the metadata, and they plugged it into their software for me, instead of me having to use the online software, which is like twisting your arm sometimes, especially when you're trying to do a live stream. And they come back with these comments. By coincidence, Jupiter and Venus would have appeared almost in the same size in the sky on that day. Here I've edited the Starry Night snapshots to put them closer together, although the illuminated area of Venus is much less. So it was Jupiter, that faint one, and Venus, the very bright one. So this is again why you have to use the apps. And Dave Gregg, who's the owner of camera, the Dazzle the Cameraman. That's not a picture of him though. Some strange character he's using there. I don't know if someone did that. But this is his software that he uses called Starry Night, which you can download. It's meant to be open source. I haven't done that because my old computer couldn't run it. But maybe this computer could run it, so maybe I should look up that and give it a play. But you can see it's very complicated software, and it maps all the stars in the sky just as you would see it from your vantage point, or the location that person was. And there's his exact date and time, Venus and Jupiter close together. So I was wrong about it being internal reflection. It was actually another planet. Who would have thought that? Two planets so close together, same size. So I learnt something new from this as well. Always learning. What was that one? Alright. And so, this shows you here, and they put out some images of the planets. So here's, not that one. Here's the next one. Here's the planet sizes in the solar system, just to give you an idea. Now we're down here, Earth size. It's hard to believe there's a great big huge planet out there this size. It's like a mini sun. In fact, I think Jupiter was meant to be like, wasn't quite dense enough to create fusion reaction to turn into a sun. It could have been like a second sun in our solar system, but it didn't happen. You got Uranus. I shouldn't say that one. And Neptune. And then on that one, you got the snapshot of these ones here. So Venus and Earth are pretty much similar size. That's why they call it the sister planet. With the right Goldilocks zone, it could have easily turned into another planet like us, where life can thrive. Mercury, is the smallest and closest to the Sun and Mars, which is the red marble. That just shows you how big they are and how far away they are from us to be that same size as Venus. Because there's Venus there. It's the same size as Jupiter. So it's 12 times further away. So I think I'm pretty much done with that one now, almost. And of course I did some additional searches, because I'm pretty sure I've seen and heard about this special event in the sky in Canada, and sure enough I found various posts online talking about the same time period where the two objects can be seen here. November, Canada Day, and some better cameras or snaps anyway. Probably long exposure, probably better experts with the camera maybe. So what are we looking at there? The moon, was it? What's it saying there? Lunar being moon. I'm not sure what that stands for. Venus. Why is it not talking about... Oh, is that Mars? Could that be Mars in the picture? So you can even see Mars. How can we get that translated? Oh, right, it's got Jupiter as well. There's a Mars in that picture as well that we're not seeing. Marti. I'm probably reading it wrong. How can I read it? Translate. Let's see what it says. Oh, come on. Oh, it is Mars. I was right. Jupiter, Moon, Mars, and Venus. So there must be Mars in the picture somewhere. Okay. And I found an English site, another person. Beautiful moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Regulus. Regulus, I don't know how you say that. In St. John's, Canada, 20th of June 2015. So it's similar. But is that Mars in the background there? That could be Mars there. Obviously a lot better camera or long exposure. And you can see city lights here. So when I investigate something, I normally do it properly. Just to prove a point. So you can see here, Twitter posts. Now anyone can do the same searches. That's why I do live shows, to show you how I search for it, and I'll do that in a minute. So up here, I think all I did was Jupiter, Venus, Canada Day, and then I just searched on that, I think. So it takes, and we get a lot of other images very similar to that, guys, popping up. Canada Day. Although I didn't see my ones coming up there. Jupiter, Venus, 2015 probably. Try that. Narrow it down. There we go. First one. Latest photos. Sometimes too many keywords is a bad thing. Let's just try that. Oh, here we go, that works better. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people posting about it. And I've probably got some of those ones here already. Okay, so on to the next topic, I guess. We're finished with that one finally. Only took me half a century to explain it. So we're an hour and 20 minutes into this show already. That's amazing. It's amazing how the time flies. I know I got lots on the list, didn't I? So, a follower sent me this awesome video taken from Southeast Australia. Meteorite fireball rocket UFO. It's most likely a re-entry of the third stage of a Russian military satellite launch from Plastic Kik. I'm not sure how you say that. Northern Russia. So I thought, oh yeah, it might be interesting just to show you that one, because we're talking about night sky. And it's got some horrible music which could cause us some problems. Alright, so here it goes. It looks like it's got a fire tail to it. Pixel UFO. Kind of looks like a skydiver, really, doesn't it, with flares? So yeah, who knows? Could be a RC model even, with some flares attached to it. So I don't know. He reckons it's a satellite re-entry. So could be multiple things there. Zoom into it a bit. Looks like it's auto playing. Repeating, I mean. So, piece of debris coming down, burning up, is it? Third stage, did he say? Seems quite level there, though, doesn't it? I thought it would be coming down more on an angle, but I suppose it can be an optical illusion if it's far enough away. So, just pop out of that one. Oh, wanted to pause it. So, same night from Devonport, Australia. Too slow, like space junk re-entry. So he's saying it's too slow as well. But he's saying it's slow, like space junk re-entry, so I don't know. Let's have a look at that link there. Soyuz 21B launches missile detection satellite. So this is the race in space now. Secret, they all got their own space forces. I suppose we're going to see a lot more of this stuff in the night sky too. SpaceX is launching men into space now. NASA and SpaceX, I think it is, working together. It doesn't mention it on that page though. But if you go to UFO Interest, he probably talks about it. Go to the main page. Here we go. First up, isn't it? So, did it actually launch successfully? I haven't actually been keeping up with it all. Looks like that might be the launch of it, because I think they cancelled it one night, didn't they? Because it was bad weather. No comments. Here's another video that has nothing to do with meteorites or UFOs. Typical footage out of context, according to several reports. So that must be talking about what we were looking at before. I think that's the next one. Is it SpaceX standard down from launch due to unfavorable weather? Okay. Really know that because I said it. Have we got any videos of it though? Is it launched now or not? Okay, he's talking about the hoax in Brazil again. Is that still going on, is it? May 22nd. Yeah, it's not too old. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Did we look at this one before? Skydivers, was it? Oh no, related to airplane preparing for landing. Okay, so this is a plane coming in to land, he reckons. A lot of people say that's a tic-tac. So, looks like they put some filters on. Looks like we got some blinking lights there, is it? Is it coming towards us or going along? Or is it coming towards us and also coming down? It's coming down this direction, I think. So we're seeing the front lights and the AVS strobe light. Which should be red. So are we seeing any red there? Looks like a plane coming straight at us. I think I can see a blinking red light when it's not overexposed. So they're saying that's a UFO. So we're getting lots of all these videos coming up that don't even have anything to do with the Brazil crash at all, which is stupid because it eventually gets found out. So this is Elon Musk with the space capsule on top. And the walkway going to it. Using the new rockets that can self-land. Reuse. So was there any launch of that at all? Go. Is that all we got? No video? I think it's the same one, isn't it? Probably can't play it. Probably copyright on it. SpaceX launch. I don't think it was in my list of things to cover though, was it? Here we go. NASA astronauts begin historic mission on private spaceship. Guardian, BBC News. They probably got copyright claim on it, have they? I've tried the SpaceX one before, remember, and I got hit with a copyright claim that I couldn't get rid of. The guy kept rejecting it. Even though I talked over the whole footage and transformed it from a normal SpaceX rocket launch to UFO video. So yeah, I won't play that. Okay, on to the next topic. When religion and UFOs don't mix, and this particular guy on Martin's show was the worst I've ever come across. Yeah, it was a bit hard to give him a tick up on this one. It's one of the worst guests he's ever had on. Probably see a lot of my comments on there. Oh, as you can see. But he was saying it was all in our minds. UFOs is all imaginary. Optical illusion, nothing to see. So we'll just find some clips on it. But on the front here, this guy had an amazing story, so we might just have a listen to this guy at the front here. He should have been like the main guest, and the other guy should have been just I don't know, shouldn't have been on the video at all.
Scanning the grounds for a deer or a bear or whatever, and I didn't see anything, and I'm looking around, and then I just noticed that everybody was looking up in the sky. And I looked up, and I couldn't believe it. So just to kind of give you perspective of what I saw, about 100 feet in front of our house, there was this great eastern white pine,
the audio's
beautiful
gone bad.
tree. Over top of it was a triangle.
How's it sounding now?
It was massive. It was black. I still get goosebumps when I think about it, but it was so big. I remember afterwards talking to my dad, and he mentioned that the size was probably about 3/4 to a kilometer long.
Sounds right this end.
Not quite sure what that is. Half a mile, I think.
About half a mile, yeah.
Half a mile. And I mean, this thing was massive. When you looked up at this.
How bad was how long was it out for? Because normally Susan lets me know. Did it just drop out only for a few seconds? I thought maybe you were picking me eating a sandwich here. I've been given lunch. Early lunch. So yeah, so he's talking about a triangle sighting, which is an amazing story here. So we'll just keep on playing it. Hopefully the audio's all working. Thanks for letting me know.
Sky, that's all you saw. It wasn't directly over the house, but it was directly over the pine tree, and it just went.
What time of night was? I mean, was there daylight?
No, it was about 6:30 in the evening, and you know how in August, late August, you got that nice golden sun, warm. There wasn't a breeze. It was a perfect night. The sky was blue, no clouds whatsoever, and this thing is hanging there. And actually, when we spoke, Martin, about having me on the podcast, I grabbed some markers, my daughter's markers, and I drew something just to kind of give you an impression of what it looked like. And this is what I got.
Wow.
Yeah,
that does look pretty big. Hey, that's
that's
not a bad rendering.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. Here, let me do this so people can see a little better. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. And there's the great eastern white pine in front. Now, this doesn't do justice. It was bigger than that. I just couldn't get it on.
Okay, that's why you don't
standard size.
That's why you don't use Skype for your chat program.
There it is. There it is. It's up in the sky, and immediately
he didn't get the scale of it
my
right.
father
Is what he means.
Walks over to. We have a front door, and it was kind of strange because the front door didn't lead to anywhere. It kind of dropped off. We were in a raised bungalow, and it dropped off to the ground, which was about 6 feet below. My father hadn't built the deck at the time. And as he was walking over to the door, he mentioned to one of the kids, my brother and I, turn the TV off, and we did, and it was silent. He opened the door, and he kind of stood in the doorway, kind of in the frame, looking up, and my mom kind of tucked in right next to him. Instantly, my brother and I, we went into these little windows. So below picture windows, I don't know if you remember this, Martin, but they might still exist, but there was these little windows below that you could slide open, and there was a screen, and my brother and I knew exactly how easy it was to pop the screens out, and we each grabbed an opening and popped the screens out and stuck our heads out. I was basically up to my waist out of the window and looking up. What I found absolutely strange was that there was virtually no sound. There was maybe a bit of a hissing sound, but there was nothing. There wasn't even birds
we heard about the hissing sound?
Chirping. Everything was quiet. There wasn't traffic. Nothing was moving. And
we've heard the hissing sound with triangles quite often, actually. So, yeah, triangles are a lot different than the old classic UFOs that we also see, or some people get to see them anyway.
And we're staring up at this thing, and my brother and I were looking at each other thinking, what is this? This is ridiculous. And we're watching for 30, 40 seconds, and the telephone rings. And my mother, she went over and picked up the phone, and my dad's like just staring, and I heard my mom say, yeah, just a second, I'll get him. And then she calls over to my dad, can you take the phone? And my dad was annoyed. Oh my goodness, he wanted to stare at this thing. And he walked over, he grabbed the phone, and he said, yeah. And the person on the other end, which I found out afterwards was a neighbor, said, she told him, there's this huge thing over top of our house. But what I could hear wasn't that. I couldn't hear that. We found that afterwards. But my dad was like, yeah, I see it as well. I have no idea what it is. I got to go buy it. He hangs up the phone and he walks over back to the door. And I'll tell you what she said to him a little later. But so now he's back at the doorway, and then he realizes, wow, somebody get me my binoculars. And so he calls out to one of us. And I forget if it was my brother or I, but somebody grabbed the binoculars, brought it. Actually, I think it was me, because I gave him the binoculars, and I remember standing there thinking, am I going to get a turn? And he's just looking up at it, and he's taking his time. So I just went back to my little window, stuck my head out, and kept watching. And then he's watching it for a bit, and I remember him saying to my mom, you got to watch it. You got to look at this. Take the binoculars, take a look. Now, this triangle, kind of in the center of it, there was, it looked like these little lights in a circular, but you could tell that there was like a protrusion coming down. I don't know how big, but the reason I say that is because it was like the lights went into a semicircle, so I couldn't see the other side. So I figured that it was a protrusion. My dad says, take a look at the lights. And my mom grabs.
So they're not actually lights. Actually, it sounds like a dome underneath with windows, right?
Binoculars, and she's like, oh my goodness, is that? And then she says, is that? And she's about to finish her sentence. And my dad stops her and says, yes. And I by that time I had come out of the window, and I was looking at them, and I was looking at their eyes and thinking I was going to get a turn next. And my dad's eyes were this big, and he said, yes. And the way he stopped her was kind of like, that's enough. We don't need to say anything. And I was like, can I have my turn? And my mom looked again, and then he said, he asked her, can I have the binoculars back? And he grabbed the binoculars, and he kept looking.
So he goes on a wee bit there. I won't play it all for fair use. I'll give you the link to it, though. But we'll play a wee bit more of it there. But he talks about, he asks his dad later on, I think it maybe when they're much older, what actually saw in the binoculars, and he said he saw creatures walking around, humanoids walking around in the little light bays, which were obviously windows, and they were looking down at them. So what can a ship that size be? It's either got to be, which I've talked about many times before in previous lives, these stealth blimps that were like 5 stories high, triangle shaped, some of them. Some of them were actually shaped like buildings, flying buildings. So I've covered that in past live streams. So it could be that. They didn't say they were aliens, just that they were humanoids. Or it could be alien craft. That's the only 2 options it can really be. So is it a Black Ops thing or alien craft again? We still don't know. So I think later on he talks about his dad.
Behind my father, kind of, and my mom's like, "What's the matter?" I'm seeing eyes. There's an alien out there, and of course it was probably my imagination. And you know, my brother's, you know, he's saying, "Don't worry about it." You know.
Okay, so he's talking about seeing aliens in the woods now. What kind of makes you wonder if they were actually missing time at all, or got abducted. Something more went on, or did he just get paranoid?
That's nothing, you know. You didn't see anything, and so we talked a little bit about it some more, and finally it was time for bed. And you think I was going to go to bed? There was no way I was going to go to bed. And my parents got, you know, somewhat irritated, and they said, "You got to go to bed." So I remember walking over to my bedroom and peeking inside my bedroom, and my curtains were open. And of course, it's like a mirror again. I see my face, but then I see eyes again. Oh my goodness, I scream and
Okay. So what else?
So as far as from that point on, did you ever talk about it, or?
So yeah, we talked about it on and off for the, you know, the next couple of months, and then we forgot about it. And my mom, you know, when I was an adult, I never spoke about it to my mom. For some reason, I don't know why, but my dad, before he died, the year before he died, I remember we sat down and we had a couple of drinks, and I asked him, I said, "You know, Dad, I need to ask you a question." And he pretty much finished my sentence. He says, "It's about that triangle we saw." And I said, "Yeah." And I mean, you could see the stress. You know, there isn't a day that I've not thought about that thing. He says, "I have no idea what it was, but I wish it would come back." And that's pretty much it. Since then, I've had little sightings, but nothing. You know, kind of some things in the sky at night, but nothing like this. This was incredible.
Yeah. Did he ever say what he saw in the binoculars? Did he spell it out?
Yeah, he described it. He said that he couldn't quite see like the details of a face or anything like that, but he could see movement. So, you know, whatever that means, he was trying to describe it. He could see it looked like, and it would stop, and then there'd be a little bit of movement, and they would stop again. And they assumed it was something looking back at us. But but he was, you know, I asked him describe the event because I didn't want to kind of contaminate his memory or mine, I guess. And I asked him to recount it, and it was pretty much exactly what I told you, except I think.
So there you go. So yeah, I have done stuff this before. I haven't got my page up though. Have I got a link to it here? Probably not. Oh, yes, I have. Here we go. I know it's Twitter. YouTube page I want. Probably haven't got it. Oh, that's why I normally got it pinned at the front tab. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Out there. Twitter comes up. Why not the YouTube? Facebook comes up. YouTube, last in the list. We tried that last time, didn't we? And it never come up. Now it's coming up again. So, the last week, I've been getting like 40 views to my channel. So, I'm pretty sure they keep mucking around and people don't find the channel anymore. So, yeah, I did some on Stealth Blimps. Worth having a look at. I'll have to get back to that. I want to finish off that model with the levitating TR3B using magnets. So I'll get around finishing that off at some stage. The concept works. I just have to make it look nice. So I was going to get like a military jeep and thing and make a scene around the flying TR3B on the model. In case you haven't seen it, you go and have a watch of what I'm talking about. Copy link. Get Microsoft to change the name. Normally it's called link address, but of course Microsoft got to go and change it. My TR3B current magnet lifting model. So I had this idea how to use magnets and levitate something so it's not touching anything, and that was my prototype. Blimps. So where was the blimp one? Blimp. Recap on blimps. Stealth Blimps. Oh, that was one of them. Recap. Drone, Soft, Blood Moon, TR3 and blimps. I think it might have been in that one. I found some images to a 1950s book which had some designs for these stealth blimps using helium, and they could hold up a whole mass of stuff in the sky, including ready to launch fighter planes which they could release underneath, which kind of made sense, right? You could lift them way up above the country and then release a whole fleet and get there faster than a airship could. Airship carrier. I mean, what do you call it? Aircraft carrier, not airship. Blimps. Stealth blimps. Now, stealth blimps would probably have like a fabric on the outside, which would be LEDs, radar sorbent type material, right? So they can be pretty much transparent in the sky and not give off any heat signature because it's helium and would be the same temperature. You could make it the same temperature as the outside, so they'd sort of become transparent. And of course you'd have plasma ion engines that run off batteries or solar cells. You could slowly lift up and push it along. It'd be like a warehouse in the sky pretty much, with military drones or whatever you want to clip on there and some people manning it. And of course you could have, as I said in these research ones where I found self-repairing fabric. So if they try to shoot a missile through it or explode it, if you try to shoot it down like a machine gun, it wouldn't work because the material would self-heal again. And of course helium doesn't explode, so it just passes right through. Of course you have multiple bladders, and of course you probably have an array of guns on it as well. So that one there, part 2 I think it was, a recap. I think there was some images I found of it. Was it in that one there? Let's have a quick look. From the 1940s, 50s. Which then got me thinking, could the role... UFOs don't have tail. So there's been some MUFON reports of UFOs with tail fins, which kind of looks like blimpy type craft. Why would a UFO have a tail on the end? If they're anti-gravity. But yeah, I think it was this one. I found some pictures of these big craft. So here's one using helium here, which is actually a real picture, I believe, of one of the experimental craft that we're mucking around with. What else we got? Of course, we've got the radar blimp things as well. You can see the man bay underneath here and the big radar dome there. They're massive. But where's the book entry one? Was it on this one? I don't know. It probably is. Art Bell's Triangle Sighting. This is it here, I think, coming up. So this is from a book in the 1950s, and there you go. Doesn't it look like what they're describing, almost? It's got this one's instead's got a row of windows around the outside. And it's got those little engines on the rear there. But yeah, there's another picture too of one that's 5 stories thick. Let's see. See if I can find it. Here's one here. Here's another picture. Alright. Lighter than air vehicles. See that one there? Row of windows around the outside. Triangle shape. Multiple stories high. Compared to the original ones at the top here. They don't have to be shaped like a blimp. I think there's another one here. Another one here. It looks like a house, floating house. Maybe it's in the recap one. But yeah, just a matter of searching the web and finding this stuff. And of course, the other time that Robert was debating whether they could be hypersonic as well, we found references to experimental hypersonic blimps, where they don't even have to have people aboard, and just shoot them up into the atmosphere and into space. So could some of that, what they're reporting on, making a humming sound, a hissing sound sounds like an iron engine, doesn't it? You ever got one of these negative iron generators? They make a hissing sound. Just scale it up to a plasma fusion iron engine, and there's your hissy sound that pushes it along. And they could be hypersonic too. They could accelerate off pretty quick, especially if they're lighter than air. But anyway, that's a sidetrack again on that. So yeah, I'm still not sure whether the aliens or combination of aliens as well as human tech there. So this is the next guest he has on. Talks utter rubbish. So we'll just listen to some of this religious guy. I think he was Jewish. But apparently radar hits don't matter, because he reckons it's radar are all faulty. So he sounds like another James Aberg. Radar hits are unreliable, and what you're seeing in the sky is actually a vision from inside your brain, apparently.
There. One was by Carl Jung, Flying Saucers, a Modern Myth of Things Seen in the Skies. And a second was Gray Barker. They knew too much about flying saucers. So I borrowed the book, took it home, and began reading it. And pretty soon I was so scared, I wanted to hide under my bed.
Oh, like the last guest. Yeah.
It was an extraordinary story, by the way.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
That the if your viewers,
Yeah, he does dribble on. I wish. Where's the best bit? I don't know.
which is an even truer answer, is that it's lasted until this moment. That the fascination that UFOs have for me has never faded, even though I no longer believe that they objectively exist as physical machines. And I think you spoke of this in your introduction, that I went to college, I majored in classical and Semitic languages.
Bingo.
I focused eventually on the Bible
Bingo.
and on early religious traditions, particularly Jewish. And the ones that most attracted me were traditions of heavenly ascent and otherworldly journeys. The part of the Bible that I kept going back to was the book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel begins his book with a vision of wheels. It's part of a larger vision, but the wheels are there. Many have said they're UFOs, and I think those people are right. I think Ezekiel's wheels were UFOs. I just don't think UFOs are spaceships.
Well, I'm going to have to ask you what you think they are right off the bat. Here we are very early in the show here. But, and do you think that it could still be part of the equation, or do you think just absolutely no, you don't think they're anything to do with extraterrestrial?
I don't think so. I think we say they're extraterrestrial because we intuitively see them as being alien. And the only model we have for alienness is to say extraterrestrial. But to me, they are visitors not from outer space, but from inner space, inside us. And we have inside us enough alienness to fill a universe.
Swamp gas and what's the other one? Venus.
Okay, well, let's just bring back the topic of our guest.
Okay, so he's going to say he saw a real craft with people walking around. So it gets a bit more heated as we move on.
Understand how your theory, and here you are, a person that's looked at this topic for a long time. So I'm not considering you a debunker for that, reason alone. But I find it interesting. So how did you come up with this conclusion after all these years?
Religion, mate.
Because I could not make any sense out of the extraterrestrial hypothesis. You've pointed out some flaws in my approach, and I acknowledge them. There are incidents that I can't explain. But there are so many flaws in the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Why would we have space visitors for 70 years? How could that be? And that they have not had the slightest impact on the lives of people on Earth. I don't know if you've read Donald Kehoe's.
But how do we know that? They may have been changing things, events, nuclear disasters and whatnot. Who knows? They may be interacting with the governments that we don't know about. They may even be defending us from evil aliens.
The Flying Saucers Are Real, which was the first book to be published, the first UFO book to be published back in 1950.
So he carries on a bit there. He gets deeper and deeper, and they talk about radar at some stage.
Communicate enormous amounts of information to each other without being aware of it. And that's, by the way, what I think happened with Father Gill and his people. I think they must have said, oh, do you see that? Do you see that? And at least a large number of those who were present, not all of them, because some of them didn't sign the paper attesting to seeing it, but a large number of them were able, without being aware of it, to come to a consensus about what they were seeing. I think something of the sort must have happened at Fathom, although I don't know. And I'm not sure, I mean, that...
Yeah, going around in circles.
Coin purse in my pocket, that it opened... Okay, you see, I'm holding it right?
Yeah.
Sort of like this. You seeing that okay?
We've seen one of those in years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm very old-fashioned. I sort of carry things around that other people...
And maybe they realized that they would have an impact on any type of society that would expose...
let's see. I want to find the bit about the radar thing. I must have skimmed past it. Oh, here we go.
Wherever they're from.
And then we get back to the question of their motives, which when I was...
So, yeah, you probably have to listen to it yourself, but... let's see. 40... Yeah, I must have skipped past it. Things backed up with radar. Here you go. Oh.
We're actually there.
Well, what about when things are backed up with radar data and other data?
Like, what other data are we talking about?
Filming, for instance, the Nimitz case, when they had, gun footage of these objects, and even the Pentagon is, saying that these are unidentified, not knowing what they are. Of course, that doesn't mean they're alien, but still, what about when things are backed up with other evidence besides?
Yeah, I think I've seen some videos about those famous Navy videos, suggesting that at least one of them, which seems to be zooming along the surface of the water, is in fact a weather balloon. And that the apparent velocity
That's
of
Nick
the
West,
thing
is it?
is the velocity of the jet. I will not swear that this is the answer, but the evidence hardly seems to me to support the idea that we've been visited for the past 70 years by extraterrestrials.
All right. So, but go ahead.
And I've dodged your question about the radar, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there was not only, like, just for instance, the Nimitz case, since I mentioned that, it wasn't just one ship. It was multiple ships that had this on the radar. It was the Hawkeye, above, they had all the data on this. And we're talking about sophisticated equipment here. So not only was it eyewitness, but, it was on the radar and footage.
Which it seems to me makes it just as, if anything, more likely that there was some sort of a glitch in the equipment.
How could that
I
be
love this
if
guy.
there's 3 radar units all recording the same thing? This
So I
want to
know No one asked him what he believes in. Does he believe in God? Does he believe in Jesus Christ that he's never seen? Mary and yet he won't believe in aliens, but he'll believe in Jesus Christ. And yet there's no other historic book from what I understand of even mentioning Jesus Christ in the time periods. Normally there's some mention of rulers of Rome and stuff in books, various books that back up each other, references. But the Bible has got no reference whatsoever. Yet they believe in it blindly. There's more evidence of UFOs, aliens, than there is the Bible being delivered from the hands of God to humans.
But I'm just saying, they're all recording at the same time.
So if a caller phones in and gets really angry.
The finest equipment that can be made today, and you're saying it's all failing at the same.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Where's the phone ins? That was really funny.
I understand completely what you're saying, Martin, about your reservations about this reasoning. I don't understand his reasoning, your reasoning, sir. And it seems to me that it's almost like a form of, what's it called, pareidolia, where you see faces in clouds, or like a cargo cult, or Martin, you mentioned the panda thing, but people seeing throughout history and in anthropological terms, seeing creatures that they described as monsters that turned out to be ordinary creatures in the wild that they just had never seen before. So all of this seems to be putting the need for an explanation ahead of the observation of the experience, and letting an intellectualized description of psychological effect drive all interpretations of data. And it seems backwards to logic and backwards to analysis and observation. I did miss the first half of the show, so I don't know if you discussed the Tic Tacs with him.
Yes.
But I would, if you haven't, or even if you have, you might just revisit that. And then I have, as I've described to you before, my own sightings. I've had several sightings. And if you're telling me that things that I've seen are a religious experience or a psychological manifestation, I'm sorry, that's just bonkers. And you have no evidence of that. Your explanations are more far-fetched than the observations of these craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do you a great injustice by telling you that you didn't see what you thought you saw.
You don't have a right to tell me that, and I don't have an obligation to believe it.
I do have a right.
It's an unprofessional and unethical for you to say that to me.
I don't think so.
I absolutely do not believe it. I absolutely trust my experience. You're telling everyone who's had one of these experiences that they must not trust their judgment and their observation, and I absolutely reject that categorically.
Yes, and I can see why you do.
Tic Tacs.
And I respect that.
What does he think of those? I'm going to hang up and take it from there.
Okay. So if you want to go and listen to the whole thing, but we went through a big chunk there. Hopefully Martin doesn't mind. Martin's about the only show I watch now. You get these crackpots on there. It's all in your mind, folks. Why do we bother with UFOs then? Why do you bother with religion? So what's the next one? Linda Melton, Howe Sting. I thought I'd bring this up. Who mentioned this one? Ron, was it? Is Ron out there? Is he going to bed? Someone submitted it to a comment on YouTube. They did a sting on this. They did a sting on Linda Moulton Howe. Apparently, I'd give you a link to it so you can just click click at the webpage. Apparently she likes her putty cats. Crazy woman. Her mouth looks too big for her face. Is it just my perception? But her mouth looks way huge than it should really be. She's got sort of the Tyler eyebrows going there, though, isn't she? But she's got these two stupid-looking cats. Look like something from Star Trek, you know, the fluff balls, what they're called. But anyway, she obviously likes hugging them. But yeah, this podcast is well worth listening to. It's an hour and a half long. It's called the Linda Moulton Howe. Probably can't see what I'm typing. Yeah, let me just get it right. Go back. Sting. So they wanted to test out how gullible she was, pretty much. So they went along to one of these conscious conferences, but like Contact in the Desert, I guess. And she wrote a note and handed it to Jimmy Church, of all people, that goes along to these conferences to push books or whatever. And eventually ended up in her hand. And she's got this note in the hand, but she hasn't read it yet. But in the note, she talks about writing this thing saying, which is all made up, of course, that she's CIA, military, those inside secrets and all that sort of stuff. So she hands a note to Jimmy Church saying she found it on the floor and it's got Linda Howe. Does he know who that is? So she was like removed, handing it to her directly. So it come from Jimmy Church. And then eventually she goes in and listens to her presentations talking about all sorts of crazy stuff from her contacts. They call what they call them, I can't remember the name of it now, but she talks about these contacts, talking about underground bases and stuff under Antarctica and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, in the note she talks about being part of a dog unit or something, where the dogs run the unit. Dogs are actually aliens or something crazy like that anyway. But eventually Linda Howe reads it, not on that particular day. After the conference, she goes home. So they go back there the next day, I think it was, or the next session. And they mention, they got a CIA, ex-CIA in the audience, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's looking around thinking, we got a government agent here. So it's quite hilarious, listen to the story. But the girl, to me, comes across like a school kid. She's all giggly and high-pitched voice and all that. Kind of annoying. But, yeah. What they called? Oh, no. What was their names? Ross and Carrie. So yeah, but yeah, she eventually starts emailing back and forth to Linda, and Linda's asking her questions to confirm her identity, and she was faking documents and sending it to her, and she said it went on longer than it should have. She was putting lots of hints there that she wasn't legit. Linda wasn't picking up on it. So yeah, it was a hilarious thing. So it was well worth wasting an hour and a half on that, even though I'm pretty busy looking at other stuff all the time. But it just shows that she can easily be misled. But you have to listen to it all. But in the end, she didn't hear back from her, so maybe she dropped enough clues in it. She put editing errors in the documents and stuff like that, hoping that she would pick it up, but she didn't pick up for days, apparently, or she didn't even mention it. Eventually she goes quiet, so she obviously didn't want to say, you're a nut job, don't contact me anymore, and let it go. So eventually she cottoned on that it was actually a sting on her to test her out. But yeah, it's quite a good one. Well worth a listen. So we're getting up to UFO Man. How are we going for time? So we've got to look at some more UFO videos here. 2 hours. So we've got an hour. Alright, I forgot to mention this one. I think again it was Ron that posted it last night. What's that one there? Talking about a rocket launch, and he said at the 3-minute mark. I'll just see if I can get there without copyright infringement. Let's see. 3 minutes 20. Anyway, you can see the rocket going up anyway.
Great job on its ascent by that BE-3 engine, a liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen engine. Designed, tested, and proven here at Blue Origin. All right, we're looking for separation here between the capsule and the booster. And separation is confirmed.
So it looks very similar to that first one we looked at with the planets.
Those payloads are getting a nice ride this morning.
But you can see they're separating there, and they say they're separating. And it looks like 2 planets in the sky, right? Even though you can't see any ship, cylinder ship or anything like that. Just looks like 2 UFOs in the sky. And atmospherics. So how could you tell that was a rocket? You can't. But that was the other possibility. It could have been a rocket launch. But if it was in the same location for 2 days, 3 days, or appeared to be in the same location over several days, then it couldn't be a rocket launch, could it? Yeah, so if you want to go and watch that whole video, I'll give you a link to it. It's quite an interesting little rocket launch there. Rocket launch that looks like UFOs. Yeah. So where's everybody today? I thought I'd have a lot more people watching. Am I like the most hated UFO channel or what, eh? And we've got UFO stalker stuff, right? Cool. So what's on UFO Man lately? Let's have a quick look over this. Let's see if we can solve them. Lights in the sky. Okay, we'll start with that and work backwards some. Come on. Oh, that horrible music. Okay, we got tires on the road, noise, and nighttime low quality spud cam footage. I'm not too sure what I'm meant to be watching. Looks like a blinking light there. A plane coming into land at an airport. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Can see a little blinking light here. There it is. Oh, what's going on? Okay, looks like a plane turned around and he just started towards them, right? There we go. It was coming down, then turned. Coming towards us, look. We got the landing lights and the wingtip lights. Looks like it's pretty low down. But it's flying overhead, look. Ew, must be close to the airport. A road that's passing along the runway. Passing Oh, it's banking now. Can only be a UFO, of course. This is how ridiculous this channel is. So, what did he say it was? TR3B, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous. Plays chicken with a car. No. It's not playing chicken. It's got only 3 downvotes. There you go, an extra one there. 71 likes. So this is idiots watching this clown. 500 views. I'm lucky to get 500 views on my videos. Yesterday at night. It was great. Looks like someone is getting bored. A drone. Not even... Don't these people know what a plane looks like at night? Heading towards you. Has anyone here got any sense? Probably deleted those comments, probably. They don't sound too excited, yes, because I know it's a plane. Any other comments there? Worthwhile. Uncharacteristic of a UFO. No doubt, mate. It could be a man-made or hoax. No, it definitely looks like a plane near a airport of some kind. It could be a small plane flying overhead. Okay, so on to the next video. There we go. That one looks like ceiling lights from that fun now. Is it? Space Force, apparently. Is it ceiling lights reflecting off a window? Kind of looks like it. Oh, no. It could be CGI. Or it could be still ceiling lights. Someone's rotating it around with a bit of stick in the background. Could be like a handheld light that someone's rotating around. You can see here it's most likely CGI though. It didn't look right, did it? It sort of stuttered there. See that there? The frame, and it doesn't seem natural, right? Seems way off, like it's been added on. Yeah, it doesn't seem natural. You can't even see the outline of anything. So why be stealth and have big lights like that? It doesn't make any sense. I wonder if you can see if it's a reflection or CGI, but it kind of looks like CGI to me. Let's see. Let's put it through some filters. Oh, I've got that problem again. I actually reported that problem to people. Whether it gets fixed is another thing. Finally, here we go. So, do you reckon there's going to be any structure in between? What's it set to? Alright. Doesn't seem to be anything popping out, does there? Yeah, let's have a look at that. Still could be a reflection, couldn't it? See how the lights are illuminating around some other object here. The pixels look like it's part of the video. It looks like it's constant. But it does seem to be like a dark mass here. Probably need to cut more of it when it's further away, probably. We'll keep that there. We've got a far away shot. There we go. What's that there? Cloud? Or reflection? It looks like it's part of a cloud. There's some cloud over here. Oh, wrong one. I hate that error. Gotta go to the opposite corner. So these guys can put up and make lots of money off their videos, and me, I'll do the analysis for them. Because they are turkeys. Okay. So let's scale up a wee bit. Okay. Let's just apply that and zoom in. Does seem to be something here, doesn't there? Something coming down. Like on sort of some sort of holder. Certainly no structure there. So it's a bit hard to tell still, CGI or reflection, either way. So let's just carry on. Next one. Of course, I forgot to mention there, it's only like 30 minutes. I bet, I'll just go back to it, I bet it doesn't fly off and disappear. Okay, so where is it going to disappear? There we go. Is it going to disappear? No. So he started doing a nosedive to the ground. Okay, so where is it going to disappear, guys? Come on, is it going to shoot off? Does it just blink out? Like switching off lights? Oh, what happened there? Shot off to the tree. Or something happened there. It seemed to disappear before it even got to the tree there, didn't it? I either switched off the lights, so it disappeared there. Looks very suspicious, doesn't it? Yep, it went boom, 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 disappeared. I wonder if we could slow it down. There's a tree, and then that's pretty shit filming, isn't it? Why wasn't it panned back if it was moving? Very suspicious. That should be up on the UFO channel. Who actually gave it to him? Suspect Skies, is it? Look, Mike Johnson started a new channel, helping a mate out. That's a guy that attacked me quite a bit too. Said I wouldn't know what a UFO looked like. And if they thought that was a real UFO, then they're munted. But here's the clue here, guys. How to get around or Google taking you down for fraudulent videos. So it's actually a emanation, which it is. CGI nonsense. Okay, what else we got here? Fast white UFO crosses paths of a Suhui jet. How do you say that? I don't know. What's that? Chinese? Okay, let's have a look at this bug. Looks like it's like a recent air show. So watch out for the UFO. It's a nice looking plane though, isn't it? Brand spanking new. Okay. So it's obviously going to be a bird or a bug closer to the camera that we always get at these air shows, right? I haven't seen anything obvious stand out yet. But I know we got it on slow motion, haven't we? Is it still slow motion? Yeah, still in slow motion. So where's the bug? Come on, where's the bug? Here's the blue UFO. Not seeing anything. Still. So this is dragging out video, right? And slow motion, 3-minute one. I thought we'd see it sooner than later. Good quality video though, isn't it? It's very good. Come on, where's the bug? Probably say, did you catch it? No, we didn't, because it flies past the lens very quickly. Now, if it was following an aircraft, right, if it was actually a sphere UFO, you'd be able to see that it was actually falling behind and changing, following the banking and everything, right? If it was flying behind it right now, or on the wingtip, you'd see it flying along with it and banking and stuff, rather than something going straight across the screen, right? I still haven't seen any UFO. I suppose it's in 2 seconds of a frame. Come on. Give it to us. Give. Probably should have played it on normal speed first just to pin it. And what you don't want to see at air show happen is suddenly it'd be a malfunction and the guy ejects from it and it's flying towards you while you're filming it. That's something that probably would happen to me if I was at the air show. Bad luck comes my way. Are you alone? Alone at the house or alone in the UFO world? Or alone on my channel? It says there's 5 watching. Robert finally joined us. We're waiting for this UFO, but it's taking forever in the day to get there. Let's speed it up. I think I saw something flick past then. Oh, look at that, fully upside down. Almost looks like a triangle, doesn't it? From right underneath. So I don't get seasick, I couldn't do that. Well, here we go. I told you it was going to be a blurfo. Going straight across, not following it. What is it, a bird or is it a bug? I think I could see the wings flapping. Okay, let's slow it down. Seagull. See, if that got sucked into the engines, right, and then crashed into the audience, that would be a real shame. Because that just shows you how birds can bring down something so technical like this. As soon as you lose your thrust of the engine, you're screwed. Okay. Wasn't much there, was it? There we go. They've put some filters on it, guys, to make it harder to see it. That's not improved it at all. It's made it worse, if anything. Looks like it's changing shape, like the wings are flapping there. I'd say it'd be a seagull. Let's see, whereabouts was it going? There it is. Let's see if I can actually enhance it. So 60 seconds and 60 second the Baptist, is it? Watch out, people, we've got a religious person joining us. Okay. So you just missed us going over the Martin Willis thing, Robert. Did you see it? And you got rid of your house guests. What time is it over there at the moment? 11 o'clock at night, huh? Oh no, what is it? 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, they left early. They're normally around there to 4 in the morning. Did all the booze run out or something? The homebrew. Let's see. Paint.net. Let's see if we can identify this soccer. It's pretty low quality blob though, isn't it? There we go. Still pretty bad. Oh. Looks like something from Skinwalker Ranch. Which I've yet to watch. Apparently it was on Mick West's show. I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. Yes, I might even include a clip of it in today's show, whether there was a good bit in it or not. Did you listen to the Mick West interview with the Skinwalker owner? Kooky. Yes. It's alright having religion, but when it sort of impacts on your reality like that, where he's ignoring all evidence, physical evidence, that's just batshit crazy as far as I'm concerned. Hell no, plenty of stocks left. I thought you were talking about Mick West for a minute, but yeah, you're talking about your homebrew. Okay, colour. Hey, can we see a shape in it? That's the question. Kind of looks like it's got some wings popping there. Certainly not UFO shape, is it? Looks like it's going slow again. Damn it. I need that fine adjustment. I might have to drop back my frame rates back to 15 again to get the speed I need. Okay, so that's closer to the shape, I think. And I think that looks like a bird. It looks like the tail fin going this way, the wingtip coming up here, the other wingtip sort of bending down, and the front of it here. Have to use a bit of the imagination on that one. We'll take a few more snaps of it. But that's what happens, you got some motion blur happening because it's moving across the frame really quickly. Okay, let's grab something else. Let's just keep grabbing each individual frame. So it's going from there to there in 1/4 of a second, which is consistent with a bird flying across the screen. And because it looked like it was changing shape, I don't think it's a mylar balloon just happened, or a latex balloon floating across by pure chance. But sometimes you get plant material floating in the sky, or plastic bags, you know, shopping bags, that sort of thing as well. So you've got to keep that in mind. Let me just open that up. How's the sound? Alright, is that not crackling? That's a bug in the mixer software. I don't know what causes it, but it's to do with the buffers overfilling, and it never recovers itself. Hopefully they fix it eventually. There you go. It looks like it's changing to more of a birdie shape. Just looks like it might be heading away from us now. Looks like a wing coming out this way, wing coming out that way, and the head of the bird up here. Although you can't really see my cursor where it is. There you go, there's the bird shape popping out that I'm talking about. So, yeah, it looks like the head up here. Head of the bird. Looks like the wing. Oh, well, part of the wing going that way. Another wing coming that way. And then you got the rest of the body coming out this way. And of course the rest of this will be the wing flapping up and down, creating this faded mess. It looks more likely to be a seagull, I reckon, and not a bug. Oh, intercepted? No, it didn't. Grab another one and move on. You can see here, looks like the same bird shape happening. Did I manage to get it? Let's have a look. Stupid magnifier thing got in the way. So what are you out there? Do you agree with me or opposing me? I don't believe it's our imagination like that other guy was saying. I believe it's actually something the sensor has detected. It's not our brains. So how can you write that off? You know, the camera's seen imagination. That guy's out of his cock and mind, I mean. He's out of his plane as well. Out of his mind. So it still looks like a blur. Okay, this one's a wee bit better. Let's see, we might be able to enhance it. Got some more colours in it. Oh, we have a problem, Houston. Slowing down. Look, looks like a tail feather coming this way, doesn't it? And we're getting a slowdown happening. Real bad slowdown. So that looks like a wing expand there. Body going this way, wing, wing, wing. Just can't get this to behave itself now. You notice when they filmed into that, it's terribly slow. Reckons there's only 40% CPU though, but I don't believe it. It's too slow. But anyway, you can see here. Looks like the wings fully. I can't draw it properly. My mouse glitched because of the CPU. So yeah, that looks like the wings there and body somewhere there. If you can see what I mean. So the wings are fully extended there. So it's definitely moving different angles. Let's get rid of some of these pictures. Might speed up again. It did update yesterday or last night, so maybe I shouldn't have updated it because it was working. The last update seemed to be faster again. And this one seems to be back to being bad again. It's a shame I can't specify where the temporary folder is, so I could tell it to use my RAM drive instead of the SD drive and it'll be faster. But there's no option to specify the work folder, which is really needed. Still no option for it. Hardware acceleration, hardly. I don't think it's working. But anyway, on to the next one. Seagull. What's this ridiculous one here? Or that one there? Well, we'll do a couple more. I suppose we should have a look at MUFON cases. How are we going for time? Oh crap. Looks like MUFON's got... This is why I wanted to do one a couple of days ago, but then I had all this copyright nonsense I had to deal with. Looks like I'm going to have to do a catch-up one midweek again for MUFON stuff. Well, we might as well finish off on this guy then. He should change his name from Mr. Capsman. Mr. Capsman, play me a tune. Look, total caps. I can't even read that because of the caps. I don't know about you guys. You must have a warped brain to be able to read that. To me, that's like in your face too much. Okay, so we've got a SpaceX on, is it? I don't know. What are we looking at here? Strange vehicle in the sky. So what are we looking at? A window or what? Here we go. Here we go, guys. Well, what's this here? What are we looking at? A window? Another 3 lights in the sky. Speed it up. It's funny how it got cut off pretty quick there. It's like the Batman thing, is it? This is not the way you do video editing. So it could be anything, right? Is it a reflection of a window again? Is it a kite in the sky with LEDs? I don't believe it's a UFO. It's not doing anything amazing to be a UFO. What's all that stupid editing they got there? Looks like the lights are blinking as it's going through atmospherics, maybe. What's this idiot saying? Can't hear him. What's that noise in the background? Aircon? Could it be a drone? It's either a drone or a night kite, I reckon. What's that at the beginning though?
And here's a clip out of St. Louis, Missouri, filmed on 5/27/2020. Take a look, make an assessment, let me know what you think.
So you got to tell him, because he's not a UFO man. Tell me what you think, guys. Well, I'm just trying to figure out what we're looking at here. Is this a balcony? And that's the outside window. So I think we need to grab a screen and enhance it. Reflection, night kite, drone. I don't think it's skydivers off in the distance. Why can't we see any stars? Is another question. Why can't we see any other light sources? So let's see what we can pull out on this. Is it a CGI? There we go, gang. Start there. Go up there. I know Charles just loves this channel, don't you, Charles? Are you still with us or you got to bed? Nick West should be put in the stocks for crimes against ufology. Ooh, you hater, Robert, hater. Okay, he's a nice guy, really. You just don't know him. Okay, he actually is he's over civil, I call him. Is almost sickly, you know, a bit over polite. Which makes him a bit plastic in my worldview. Plastic man. So what are we looking at here? So there's original footage here and they sort of spliced it on here. Is that what we're looking at? So where is the object here, if that's the case? That portrait phone with a side bit added on. Let's see what the enhancements tells us. It is too. So there's the craft. So that's the real view here on the side. And that's the zoomed in bit this side. So that makes more sense now, doesn't it? You can't see it there with no filters, just really, really barely. You'd think they'd circle it. Okay, it looks like it's going through a window there, doesn't it? It's a damn spotlights on the ceiling again. And the flickering of the lights was probably because they're waving their hand above in the kitchen or whatever. So we need to focus on that chunk only. But yeah, we're not seeing anything on the outside here, are we? Looks like a reflection there. Another hoax. Aha, look. Looks like another light on the ceiling. Looks like it might be over here. Amplified. You can't see it until you filter it. So you can't even see it on this one. The computer's gone slow. Look at that crazy thing. There we go. You can't see those until you apply different filters. Ah, look, it's definitely a hoax. Another hoax. Garbage up on UFO channels. And then we only got the zoomed in version, is it? So at the beginning is where the important information is. Crap, what happened there? Stupid pop-up, was it? Yeah, there you go, look. There's the raw image. That's what we want. Damn it. Unfortunately, the play bar is going to be in the way. We wanted to see what was down there. That's stupid. Let's try that again. Make that full size. Still can't get rid of the play bar though. There should be a way to hide it, shouldn't there? Pause. Is there a hotkey that I don't know about? Suppose that could be better there. So we want to get that. So what are we looking at here exactly though? Outside window? Through a window? So this is a window, and that looks like another side window going the opposite direction, and that looks like maybe part of the roof. So this is why you got to pan around, right? See what we're looking at. So it's got all the red flags of being a hoax. What happened to it when it finished? Did it disappear? That's another red flag. I think we didn't actually see. Definitely nothing to do with a real alien craft. Just total BS again. How do we get it back to normal? Bugger off. Okay. Okay, where's the image? There it is. Portrait. Filmed the wrong way, of course. You dork. Learn to film properly. Yeah, so looks like a shadow here. Something going on there. So that means it's on a piece of glass, right? So you can see the dark shadow on the glass. Outside window frame. And whatever this is here. Outside on the roof. It's amazing how many reflection hoaxes there are now. Okay, so there's the craft. This thing's playing up. It's time to go home. So what's this coming up here? So you can see here, definitely a smudge on the window. It's got to be one of these spotlights you get in the kitchen, which we've seen a zillion times already. Spotlights, see, kitchen spotlights. I bet you could probably even find the light pattern for it if you want to spend the time looking for it. Kitchen spotlights. Okay, so you get these ones here. You get the ones with the rails. But do you want ones that can form a triangle and a straight pattern? There's a whole beam of them here. Circular ones, different angles. We want the ones that are round. Is that the one? Look at all the crazy lights in that one. Upwards and downwards. Above a dining table. There we go, more circular one. Now we're starting to cook, and then you want one with a bar going this direction. And it's going to be like thousands of designs. Alright. Reflect that in the window. And bingo. You got a UFO video for UFO Man or third phase of the moon. Or Tyler even. Probably, let's see, spotlights. Maybe just spotlights in. Maybe rails. Rails. But they use these also in concerts, of course. Of course, he may be just holding up one of these night kites and it's reflecting off the window. You can see how faint it was, right? So it could easily be that too. Just holding up a kite in his hand and this moving around. Triangle shape. Pushing buttons to... so you got these S-bend ones which can create nice patterns as well. But I'm pretty sure I've seen that configuration of lights before in my investigations. Look how many is on that one there. Probably could type triangle shape maybe. Rails, triangle. I've seen triangle shape ones. There we go. These are perfect for creating triangle shape reflections. What the hell is that thing? Wouldn't want that in my house. What an ugly design. Triangle light. Nope, that's not what we're after. We want triangle spotlights rails, you dumb search engine. UFOs, people. Nope. Oh, look at this one. Christmas lights. That's not what we're after. Why is Christmas lights under spotlights? Anyway, yeah, you can have a search if you want to try and match it up yourself. What else we got? This one here. Finish up on that one. I think my size of my window got mucked up here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's make it smaller again. So what are we looking at? Is it a street light? Did we look at that one before? It rings a bell. I know what that does. That's a drone, isn't it? You got the right angles here. Is it a drone, or was it one of those stupid balloons? Oh, where's it gone to? Is it one of those sun balloons with the thing sticking out? Or is it a drone? Can we see the propellers at all? Flickering. Keep it on, keep it up. Oh, you dumbass. Terrible filming. Oh, here we go, it's back again. Is it 1, 2, 3 prop drone? Useless UFO man. Useless. Okay. The thing is, I don't like all those power poles there. Power lines, which is where you normally throw a fishing line over. So it's all around where the image is, right? Easy could be on a fishing line going up to this one here. Small object of some kind. Would you be flying a drone around power lines like that? Certainly a strange shaped drone though, isn't it? Any drone flyers out there would recognize that as a particular model. I'm not sure. Mick West has ridiculed too many witnesses. Did he ridicule the Skinwalker Ranchman, did he? So yeah, I don't know what we can do with this one to identify it. UFO, I don't think so. We didn't see where it went to. Is it moving, or is the camera moving all the time? It's the sort of thing you want the full video for, from MUFON. Oh. Did you see 7 points on it? I didn't see, I saw 5. No sound. Yeah, that's because it's been edited. Okay, what is it if it's not a UFO? Calling all experts on the side chat. What do you think it is? Wrong one. Come on. Let's plug in. Need to do some fine adjustments. I think it might just be a toy on a fishing line, some sort. Balloon caught on the power line, maybe. This is not helping me. No, it's not working. It's broken again. I need a better computer still. This split graphics card's always been a problem on this laptop. Apparently you need a laptop that's got single line interface, which you can then disable the Intel crap inside and just stick with NVIDIA. So yeah, what could it be? It could be some type of balloon. Balloon. Helium. But again, it could be a toy too. Spikes. Not that. Not that. That's getting closer to what we're looking at. Dino Party. Some animal. I don't think it's a sun balloon, but I can't rule it out. One of 5 spiked one. We've seen that before. Maybe the biological UFO. Big helium balloons. Let's have a look at that again. Could it be something like that? It's got a spike underneath and top, which sort of discounts it being a drone. Something close to that one. I don't know. What the hell's that? 6 meter sun-shaped small helium. So that could be a good one for a UFO fake, couldn't it? Crazy. 2 suns either side. Amazing the crap China makes. Could that be what we're looking at? Who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's got too many things sticking out. But yeah, it's in the dark here. If it was in focus, might have a bit of luck. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's got something here and something up there. Crazy sun balloon. hanging on a power line. What do you think out there? Looking at the sharpness one now, I don't think it is a drone. And of course we couldn't see any blades blinking at the corners or over the image when we're looking at the video. You should see like shimmering. Clock gear. Yeah, no. It looks like it could be diamond shape or round in the middle. It could be round, that's sort of deflated a wee bit. But it's some kind of helium balloon, I think. Five star. Could be a star balloon, maybe. Star. Not one of those, though. Well, it could be some crazy character balloon that's got 5 limbs. There's another possibility. Some cartoon character I don't know about, because you'd have to watch the kids' shows with the kids. That might be out there. But yeah. Nothing seems to be popping up. Maybe one of these. That's got 4 coins though. Aha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close, but not close enough. Because it's too symmetrical. This one's got like round bits in between. This one's sort of angles and we want round bits. So that's sort of round. These ones sort of round, but still not quite the same. But yeah, I'll probably be looking forever and a day at this stuff. Here's one. We deflated that a wee bit. Close, but not no cigar yet. Another one. Now, something like that with 5 things sticking out probably. And a pointy bit either side. There'll be something out there. Anyway, best not to waste much time on that one. See how it went up then though? Was that moving the camera? Could be just drifting on air current, right?
Make an assessment. Let me know what you think down below.
A bug flew across then.
Coming up are a few still frames so you can get a better look at the object and make an assessment.
Is it dangling there or... You think if there was a little breeze it would be spinning as well. Does look like one of those, at certain angles it looks like a deflated star balloon, doesn't it? So it does look like a star balloon there. Optical illusion on the other images. Does look like one of those 5-star balloons. And because it's twisted here, it looks... It's twisted. 5-star balloon with something else on top of it. I don't know. It's close, but not 100% sure on that one. Hey. Not a UFO, because it didn't do anything crazy like a UFO. Oh, here it is, here again. So we have looked at this one before, have we? Oh no, looks very similar. What was that one again? I can't remember. Was it a plane approaching? Anyway, I think we've done enough with UFO Man for the time being. And we better have a look. We've missed out on UFO Stalker lately. Let's just have a quick look at the images before we wrap up. Oh, is it actually 3:30? I mean 3.5 hours, not 3:30. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Any good ones there? There's a bird, there's a plane, there's a bug. Some type of bug going across the screen. What the hell is that? Got some motion blur. A bug again. Yeah, it looks like it's very small. Rainbow. Bird or a bug. Dive bombing. More SpaceX ones, is it? Or what's that one called? Starlink. Mind you, but that would just see... Would see a whole line of them, probably. I've got some drawings. What's that one about? Phoenix, New York. While watching stars on the balcony, visible flashes were not planes. And we only got pictures. So yeah, again, it's not going to go very far, is it? How can it not be planes if we ain't got no video? Big explanation there. A huge explanation. I don't even use my reader today. That's terrible. So what have we got planned for tomorrow, Roberts? I haven't looked. What's one of the best UFO cases we're talking about tomorrow? Men in Black or what? And have you posted it to the correct section on Discord this time? Live general, not lobby. Okay. Bird. Plane. Sun. Lens flare. What's that one? Mexico. Balloon or reflection, I guess. Let's have a look. What are we looking at here? Yeah, I can't see anything obvious. Looks like there's smoke in the background. Power lines again, which I don't like. Books in capital. Can't see what he's talking about here. Boomerang and similar unknown objects. Objects after loaded them. I can't see anything. Actually, let's just quick have a boomerang object. Is he talking about pareidolia of the clouds there? Let's have a look. Let's see, traffic, high mast lights here. Can't see no boomerang objects. Lots of clouds. Lines, power lines. About the high mast light is the only boomerang object I see. Can't. Unless he's talking about patterns in the cloud. Not seeing anything obvious. More rubbish from Mexico. What's going on here? CPU going to Hawaii again. Damn you. Got no clicking. Oh, let's just close that sucker down if it'll let me. What's happened here? There we go. As soon as we close that paint.net, release something. There's definitely something wrong with that program. Something that's doing. Doesn't like the MSI. Anyway, I should wrap up. Well, we did get to look at some of the MUFON cases anyway. There we go. Another bunch of balloons. That one looks like it's a 5-star Pentagon balloon again. Balloons changing shape. Come on, you can see that's a balloon. Come on. It has to be a balloon. A bunch of balloons of some kind. It's a critter, I tell you. Critter. Okay. Why did it go backwards there? What the hell is this one? Strange clouds? What the hell is that one? Looks like a couple around. One of those ice clouds that you get when it creates little sphere shapes. That's what it looks like. Kind of weird. But it looks like clouds forming over a mountain, which is where they generally occur like that. Interesting photo though. It's good to see that. It's something natural. All internet and self-surface in the city failed. So it had to be something outside. Made for hours. So what's that got to do with the picture? When the hotel wasn't visible with the naked eye. Object was visible. So maybe he's not looking at the clouds. Maybe there's something else in the picture then, is there? Although it does seem to be focusing on that. Could be like just a smoke cloud even. Coming up behind the mountain. Well, that could be why the power's out. If it's like a bushfire and it's burnt the power poles that's got the internet or power lines. Did he say the power was out and the internet? Well, if the power goes out and the exchange goes down, you lose your internet. Could be something like that. Anyway, we better wrap up. As we've gone on forever. But I'll have to do a catch-up one with those ones next week. Get rid of the talking alien. So I've got a lot of crap here to get rid of again. And that will add into that folder there. Good, looking good. Everything's speeding up now. I'm closing down everything. It might be that Microsoft browser. Maybe I shouldn't use that only when I want to read. It's probably Microsoft doing some spying in the background. Hey Renee, how's it going? Jellyfish, yeah, could have been jellyfish. I should have looked up starfish and jellyfish. Yes, come and join us on our Facebook groups, or Discord is better actually, because I'm on there all the time. And Twitter as well. Okay, my two top ones. So yeah, we had to go back to the old counters here today. And whoever this is, what's his full name? The Baptist. Sounds scary. Okay. The Baptist is out to get us. Okay, let's end this off. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. Those that bothered, anyway. And sorry about the audio. It wasn't too crappily, I hope. Please like and share. You didn't tell us what you were doing tomorrow, Robert, on the side chat, so I have to be a guess. Hey, unless I missed it, of course. Good night.